Your purpose and your assignment and how you express that purpose is unique, but your circumstances are not unique. And when you know that you can always recover because someone has been through it, is going through it, or will go through it. If they've been through it, they can become a mentor to you.
Yeah.
If they're going through it, they can be an ally. If they're going to go through it, you can become a mentor to them.
People put themselves in this perspective. Life is over. I can't do this. Boom. You know what? Let me go in victim space and put myself in this corner, which, like you said, there's always someone that can pull you up, but you can't nobody can pull you up if you put yourself in a room, lock the door and close it and put a gate around it, then chain the gate and doing all this stuff. So now people can't really pull you out. So, but if you put it in a perspective of like, it's just, I don't use the word bad, I say rough. It's rough right now. It's not going the way I wanted to go, but it's not that bad.
Faith is faith. Faith is not the Jesus thing. Faith is not the Christian thing.
No, faith is faith.
Faith is faith.
Yeah.
Okay. And so the thing is, a person who's in victimization and victim mode is operating in faith.
Faith that I can't do this.
Faith that I can't.
Yeah, faith that I can't do this.
Faith that it won't work out.
Yeah.
Faith that I don't have the right connections. Faith that they're better advantage than me. Faith. But every single bird that is born, created, hatched, whichever word you would like to use, automatically knows how to fly at the right time. They're already pre-engineered to win. Anytime you're stuck and you're being discouraged, it's a system situation. It's never a problem with your dream. It's a problem with the system by which to get your dream. And there's always somebody, again, that has been through that. So mentorship is a shortcut to success. There's only one shortcut, and it is mentorship.
That's a fact. I call it a fast pass. People confuse mentorship with cost and when you worry about the cost of something, you're not focused on what the value is.
Correct.
Because if something costs $1 but it's going to bring me back $5, who cares it costs $1? If something costs $1 million, bring me back $10 million, who cares that it costs $1 million? We're focused on the cost of something and not the value. And people get things confused all the time.
When I am frustrated, when I am discouraged, when I am stuck, when I'm in that process, I sit down and I think, what don't I want? I took that $7,500 and I spent money, the majority of it, on learning digital products, learning something. And in 90 days, I flipped that $7,500 and made $100K in 90 days.
You say you help people, turn their purpose into profit.
Yes.
And get from stuck into
start.
So you help people like turn that stuck into start that photography business, start that videography business, start taking the information about doing videography and photography in a high level and turn to a digital product, help someone else start. So that's good.
They're paying you $17 an hour to learn how to do business. So when you're doing your business, you already have a foundation. Don't see yourself as an employee, see yourself as a researcher that's getting paid.
Ooh. You don't really talk about other people's relationships. Like, they like guys will just have like, oh man, she getting on my nerves. Might touch a little bit, but people don't really just be blasting.
I have to ask my husband because he's ahead.
Yeah, but when I'm having these classes and stuff, I'm finding more like, this is really a problem a lot of people have.
There's a problem where you're asking for permission and not wisdom from your spouse.
Hey, welcome back and welcome. If this is your first time on the Funded and Closed podcast, a podcast myself, Derek Boone, I put together for individuals like you who's trying to learn, grow, make more money, and just become a better individual overall, and trying to get started in business, trying to get started in real estate, just trying to get started in something that's going to take them to the next level. On this podcast, I have great conversations with individuals that are making 6, 7, 8, 9 figures and just doing some amazing things. And we're having a conversation that, and full disclosure, these are people I do business with. I already know, friends, family, that we had these conversations all the time, but they're allowing me to record it so you guys can see and you guys can get some game and take some tidbits from this stuff. So as always, I'm always excited about my episodes and my guests because, like I said, these are people I actually do business with. These are people I actually know. These are people I actually seen in real time. These are people I actually know that they're changing a lot of people's lives. So without further ado, I have someone that's amazing. That's literally someone that I'm talking about. The first time we ever had a conversation, she kind of had me like, dang. And it's hard for me to get stuck like that, but she was saying some things that really opened up my mind. And we always talk about, money, flipping houses, funding and all this type. But I believe in something so important, Mindset, learn, then earn. I'll say this again. Mindset, learn, and earn. If your mindset isn't right, you can't learn correctly, and then you for sure then can't earn correctly. So having your mindset right, making sure you're in your purpose, making sure you're fulfilled, and making sure you are aligned with how you're going to be supposed to be aligned, or aligned religiously, however it fits with you. But you had to make sure mentally and purposely in your soul you're aligned. So I want to introduce someone very special, someone very amazing, who is the best when it comes to helping people get more aligned with their purpose. So when they're aligned with their purpose, they can go ahead and be profitable. So without further ado, I want to introduce my good friend, Sarah Connor. What's going on?
And the crowd goes wild.
Woo! How you feeling?
Better than ever, living my best life.
See, it's about to start. It's about to start. It's about to start. And you said this isn't your first time in Philly, second, third.
Yeah, it's second time in Philly, but third time in Pennsylvania.
Second time in Philly and third time. You said Pittsburgh, right?
Pittsburgh.
You was Pittsburgh.
I was in Pittsburgh, yes, a couple of years ago.
Yeah, that don't count.
I was in because as you find out, I'm not from here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm from a different country, so the states are still rolling around. I mean, there's a lot of states here.
Yeah. So, quick question: what was the first state that you came to leaving in Jamaica? Right.
Yes, I visited New York. When
everybody goes to New York for the first,
especially
every
Jamaicans.
Single person.
We're going to go to Florida or New York, because that's where all the family is. Florida, New York, or Toronto. That's it. That's it. Connecticut is bringing up the rear right now, but yes, New York, because we had Jamaica Avenue, Jamaica, New York.
Yeah.
There's so much familiarity there, so New York would be definitely the first one.
What age were you when you came to New York, or went to New
13.
York? 13. Was it a culture shock?
Yes, because the biggest thing that was really strange was I got introduced to Chef Boyardee.
Okay.
Right, so we didn't have canned food because I grew up Rastafarian.
Okay.
So my father was a Rasta, so we ate everything very natural, very organic. I'd never seen food in a can.
I got a quick real question on that. Was it not only a culture shock, but was it a stomach shock? Going from eating raw, fresh to now eating all this canned processed
no,
stuff.
It was exciting.
But your stomach
became addicted. Yes.
It didn't hurt, change?
Nope. No, I probably got bloated. And then the pizza was so large. I had never seen a slice of pizza like that. Like it was,
you gotta hold it like this.
Right. It came and fell all the way down to my arm. And those two things, I was like shocked. And the supermarket had so many options. Like you had a whole aisle with cereal.
But the reason I ask is because, when you go to other countries, which you already know, it's things that are not in y'all supermarkets than it is in like American supermarkets. Like I traveled to a bunch of different places and they literally will have, let's say, Doritos are not in the supermarket, but they'll have some other different types of Doritos, some other type of chips, because they're banned in certain places.
Correct. Yeah. The food definitely, I've been to a lot of different countries, public speaking and just traveling. And there is always food shock, culture shock. And then there's a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
For example, no matter which country you go to, everyone has a dream.
It's about to start.
Right? Everyone wants to get from stuck to start. Everyone has something they're working on. So here you say green onions. In Jamaica, we say scallion. Yeah. Right? So it's very different. You may say the trunk of the car, or the hood of the car. We may say the boot of the car. There's language things that are different. But when you come down to wanting to really have some kind of purpose and intention and joy, we heard the same. If you lose a parent in Jamaica, you lose a parent in Europe, it doesn't matter. The loss is similar. So there's a lot of similarity with us around the world, though there are lots of different cultural, exciting, fun things. And I think that the thing that has always stirred me up is seeing that there are dreams everywhere, and everyone's dreams are independent and relative to them.
That's what makes it amazing.
Right. So where we go wrong is when I'm trying to steal your dream or borrow your purpose or borrow your intention.
But it wasn't for you.
Right. So it don't succeed because I'm trying to, like David, I'm trying to borrow Saul's armor. I'm trying to take something that's not mine when I'm already fully equipped, no matter where you are. Because I used to live in the ghetto of ghettos. And I've lived in rich areas. The dream is not relative to the location, but the dream can change the location.
Ooh. Ooh. And you know what? I want to apologize. I forgot something. Pastor. Sarah Connor. I forgot that. I was so excited to get started. You know, you start forgetting something. You trying to rush into the episode, rush into the conversation. So she's stamped, super stamped. So, but one thing, I want you to share your story, but I want you to tie your story into. I have a question. How common it is, because a lot of people feel like they're like the one person in the world that's going through things. How common it is for you to lose your purpose or lose yourself in the midst of just life. And I want you to tie that in with your story and how, you know, things happen with you. Because sometimes people feel like I'm the only person in the world that just lost my purpose. I'm just out here by myself and no one can help me. And I think that's the worst thing you could feel like, because now you're putting yourself in like a corner, a box. Yeah. So I want you, you know, touch on that.
I think that's one of the things that can help you recover. Okay. Is when you do accept that you're not unique that way. Your fingerprint is unique. Your purpose and your assignment and how you express that purpose is unique, but your circumstances are not unique. And when you know that you can always recover because someone has been through it, is going through it, or will go through it. If they've been through it, they can become a mentor to you. Yeah. If they're going through it, they can be an ally. If they're going to go through it, you can become a mentor to them. Okay. So when you know that, then you know that you have a role at some point, no matter what situation you're in. So I was born and raised in Jamaica. My parents are, my dad was Rastafarian, my mom is Chinese Jamaican. And so my dad was one of the road managers or helped with Bob Marley. So we were raised in music. So in doing that, we have 4 moms, 7 children. Everyone gets along just fine. And my mom and my dad divorced when I was 6 years old. Okay. I kept running back from my mom to my dad because I preferred him, because my mom was on drugs that I didn't know. Okay. So she was very hostile to me, and I couldn't understand why she'd be really fun one minute and then like be beating the life out of me next minute. You know, I got like bruises and cuts and burn marks on my body just from that kind of assault. And then by the time I was about 11 or so, she had disappeared. She dropped us off, and I don't know, she came to the United States, as a matter of fact, and I didn't see her for like 6 months at a time, a year at a time. And so I was living with my dad. Well, when I was living on and off with my mom, I used to live in this place called Trenchtown, Jamaica, one of the worst ghettos in Jamaica and one of the worst ghettos in the world. No running water, no lights. We lived in those, I guess, in the United States, we say shotgun houses. Yeah. In the shotgun house.
Just to put some perspective, how far is that from like Kingston?
You know? Okay, so it's in Kingston, but it's like downtown Kingston. It would be like what we call, so in Kingston you have kind of like how New York would have uptown, midtown.
Oh, okay, right? Got you.
So uptown is where the wealthier people would live. Midtown is kind of where the business centers would be, and like, then you have that downtown would be where the different what they would call ghettos are. So you have like Boys Town, Girls Town, Trench Town. You know, those are different ghettos where things are just hard. Okay. So lots of sometimes, you know, what you call it, the military will be out there.
Out there with the guns.
With the guns and things like that, right? Lots of gunshots and things. So I remember being there with my mom, and I was probably about 7 or 8. Yeah, about 8 or 9. And
I know you're enjoying this episode. I know you're getting a lot of game and a lot of value, a lot of information. But is it okay for me to give you even more value? Is it okay for me to give you more information? So if you just said yes, what I want to do is I want to give you access to a free training that I'm having, 100% free. You can log in. If you don't like it, you can log off. It's 100% free. In this training, I'm going to show you guys the 4 steps that I utilize to be able to buy properties, rent properties, make money on property. Like this building we're in right now is 100% mine. And we do that. And I have done that doing those 4 simple steps. So what I want you guys to do is go to fundedandclosed.com, just like the podcast, but fundedandclosed.com. You're going to be able to register for the free training. Like I said, 100% free. And it's going to give you those 4 steps that I utilize to build my real estate empire. And you can do this exactly where you at right now. So look, we're going to get back to the episode. But before we go ahead and finish, press pause, go to that website, go ahead and RSVP for the training. And I'm going to see you soon. Let's get to it.
There was a field where we used to live. We used to live on a street called First Street. And I actually have, I think, a picture of that on my Instagram of the house, or the thing we used to live in. And there was an empty field. And I used to say to myself, one day I'm going to come back here and I'm going to build me a school on that place. because I used to go to a private school because my dad would pay for the private school. So I'd get a cab or I'd get to school, but my mom wasn't paying for it, my dad was paying for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to sit there and see the difference. I would come back and I have all these different things from the private school. My books are paid for, all of this in the private school. But I'm in the ghetto when we have to shut down things before the night, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I would sit and look at that field and I would say, one day I'm going to build a school. I'm going to come back. I didn't know God. I didn't know anything. All I knew was Rastafari, right? I just knew Haile Selassie, ever living, ever faithful, ever true. That's all I knew. But I was going to a Jewish private school.
Okay.
Yeah, let's just work it out now. So remember, we got 4 moms, we got 7 kids. I'm going to a Jewish private school, but I'm living in the ghetto, right? And I'm under Rastafarian influence, if you want to call it that. So we used to grow weed in our backyard.
Mm-hmm.
Our family pictures have us beside weed,
So that's not like a thing when they say like, Jamaicans and weed, like that's really like it's in the backyard.
For us, it was, I'm not going to say that it's legal because it's technically not as far as I know, but we were doing our own thing. So anyway, by the time I was 13, I ran away from home. At that time, I had already been multiple sexual assaulted by neighbors, different people, different things, girls and boys, so the male and female. And I knew something was wrong, but I didn't know it was wrong because they were always bigger and older than me. Well, time went forward. I got invited to church when I ran away from home. My mom had phoned me in a club and she was like, she came back from the United States, heard I had ran away from home, heard I was on the streets and just, was like, she's going to snatch me back. I got back and a girl in her apartments, near to her apartments, invited me to church. And I'd never been into a church. Mm-hmm. No, it was crazy because Jamaica has more churches per square mile than any other country in the world. It's in the Guinness Book of Records. But I'd never been in a church.
You were next to churches all your life but never been inside.
Right. And in Jamaican schools, you can talk about God. And they do devotions. But I'd never been in a church. Yeah.
Oh.
You're free to go in and do any kind of mission.
This wasn't your time yet.
And so I went to, she dared me to go to the church and I went as a challenge because she thought, she was like, what can you lose kind of thing. So I was like, I'm tough, let me go. Yeah. And I went and got born again. And it totally changed my life because then I had a dream in Trenchtown, but I didn't have purpose until I got born again because I knew somebody loved me unconditionally. Mm-hmm. And I knew there was potential inside of me because now I was being connected to the person who created purpose. So before I was just having an idea and a dream and it tugged my heart. And that's one way you can discover your purpose. Everyone says through your passion, what you're lit up about, what makes you excited. But the truth is you can find your purpose through your compassion, what breaks your heart.
Okay. Explain.
So maybe you're not red hot. Maybe you're not, super, excited as a person. Maybe you don't have all this energy as a person. Maybe you're more chill. So when somebody says you can find your purpose and your passion and you're like, there's nothing passionate about my life. You can also look at your compassion. Mm-hmm. What frustrates you? What makes you angry? What breaks your heart? And that broke my heart. So I didn't know that it was just a dream, but I hated seeing struggle because I was struggling, but I didn't want to struggle. Mm-hmm. I was fighting against it. That's why I say your dream is not limited to your location, but your dream can change your location.
That's a fact. That is 100% fact. Yeah. And I think also too, your purpose may not be your passion. Sometimes your passion shouldn't be touched with your purpose or your business or things like that. I know some people that's like their passion is, I don't know, golf. But that doesn't mean they need to start a golfing business or things like that. They want to leave that at that as what their passion is, what that, their safe space and things like that. But I do feel like that people, like you said, people do need to figure out their purpose, whether it's through compassion, whether it's through pain, but they need to figure out their purpose. Right. That's the only way you're really going to grow at a different scale. Like you can grow, like you can work a job and, move up from this position to this position, but to really grow internally and externally and, financially, you're going to have to find some type of purpose.
Correct.
And make profits out of that.
Right. So your purpose, let's take back your golf example as passion. There are things that lean into making your assignment effective. Mm-hmm. So that golf, you may not make that golf profitable. You may use it as an outlet, because it creates space for you
That's
to
the
have
right
more
word.
creativity
Yeah.
and more availability
Yeah.
for your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes in line with it. But amazing how you can be on the golf course, and if your purpose is closing and funding and funding and closing, you can make a deal on there.
Yeah.
So even though you were in your space of just enjoying yourself, your purpose still, it finds you no matter
Yeah.
where you are.
Yeah.
Whether, so you definitely can launch from your pain. I launched from my pain after I got born again. A few years later, my mom was murdered. She was stabbed to death.
Wow.
Multiple homicide.
In the
in
States
Jamaica.
or Jamaica?
In Jamaica. Her heart was shredded like a
Wow.
I don't know, like grated meat.
Wow.
And I had to identify the body. I was a teenager. It was a double homicide, and it was, what we call execution style.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, fast forward, later on, I get, given Rohypnol by a spiritual leader.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm now part of a national case where 21 or so women are raped and assaulted.
Whoa.
And then, a couple of years ago, I got divorced, and it was a public divorce. The reason I'm saying this is because when we're talking about purpose, we're talking about profitability, we're talking about dreams and visions. One of the things I find is that we're not able to pivot from it. We will get lost. We're talking about your first question was, how do you get lost? How do you get distracted? How do you get separated from purpose? Because pain comes and adversity will introduce you to a you that you've often passed by. A more resilient, brilliant, stronger you.
Yeah.
But when that pain comes and that adversity comes, if you don't pivot it and realize that, it can be a launching pad versus a sinking hole, then you're going to be swallowed up in it and not pivot. And say, when that pain comes to you, we talked about it. Am I in the pain? Then there's somebody going through that with me. So there's an ally somewhere in my sphere of influence. Have I gone through it? Then there's somebody I'm supposed to pull up. Then no, I'm supposed to be a coach, a mentor, a teacher. Jesus' last command was, go ye therefore and teach.
Say that again.
Jesus' last command to the disciples was, go ye therefore and teach.
Okay.
Everyone's a teacher.
Yeah. Everyone is a teacher.
Everyone's a salesperson. Though they say they don't like sales.
Yeah.
But you're selling to your kids to go to football.
School, eat dinner.
Right? Oh, you going?
Wash
look,
up.
chum, this little green thing, chum.
I'm selling my son to get in the bathtub this morning.
You're always selling, and you're always being sold to.
Yeah. He sold me and said 1 more minute.
Right, negotiation.
I had to sell him to get in the tub, and then he's negotiating with him, give him another minute in the tub.
He's an entrepreneur already.
Like what? Like, hey, he literally said, "Can we make a deal?" He said 1 more minute. I'm like, but you didn't want to get in it first.
Yeah, right. See,
but you're right though.
Yeah. So we have pain and we have things that are going to come, and I want you to see it as. I heard an example one time like this. They use it for fear, but I'm going to say it for pain, because pain and fear, they all kind of ride and live together, right? Yeah. So it's kind of when you're in a car and you're driving a car and you see a dog run out, right? And that dog could be a chihuahua. That dog could be any kind of dog. And that dog, if the gate is open, is going to run after you.
Facts.
Okay. What is the goal of the dog? The goal of the dog is to make you stop. Once you stop the car, the dog goes back. He only wants to make you stop.
Yeah.
So pain and fear and those different things makes you stop. You are insulated. You're in the vehicle, but you've been tricked to think that you're outside because the dog is running after you, and it's playing on a fear that you'll be attacked. So when you feel you're going to be attacked, you freeze because you don't realize who you are and the environment that you're in. You don't know that you're encapsulated. You're in the vehicle. You have control. You can run over that dog.
Yeah.
And so that's the big thing, is when all these things were happening to me, what it was coming to do was snatch my identity from the fact that I have recovered before, then I can recover again. If I have lived before, I can live again. If I have used my intelligence before, every single thing that I've had to get to this point has got me to this point. All I have to do is zone down even further and it will get me to the next point. Or I have to bring in assets. I have to bring in a person on that timeline who is ahead of me to pull me up. So you always can get out of a situation because there's always somebody available in that timeline process. You are never, ever at a loss. You are never, ever at a failure point. You are never, ever going to not recover. It's you believe that. And whatever you believe, you're going to receive. And whatever you receive is going to happen, no matter what. Whether you're right or wrong, you believe it, you're going to have it. The power of belief is so much. So when I thought of that dream, now I have to sponsor a school in Trenchtown.
Yeah.
An autistic school, predominantly boys. In the very same place that I had said at 8, this is what I'm going to do one day. And now I'm going to turn almost 52. And in the last 6 or so years, I've taken care of that school. And I do things for that school every single time. But see, the dream had to find a purpose, an arrow, an aiming point to go. But it was in there. And God has already put things inside of you. And so when you just remember that everything, the pain, the fear, all of it is coming to do is to make you stop. And if you stop, you forget your identity. You forget who you are and what you have. And you have every single thing that you can. All the rapes, all the things I've gone through. I didn't get mad at men and mad at the world and mad at the thing. I just said, you know what? I have to get through it. If I can get through it. The testimony is not where you've been, right? The testimony is if you get to what you get to.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. Is did I finish that assignment? Did I complete everything? Did I die empty? When it's time for me to go, can I just close and go, you know what? Well done. Job done.
I check things off the list.
Yeah, it's done.
Y'all
had me crying up in this podcast. I didn't know.
This was good. That was good. We was in church. We was in church for real. I think people, I always say this for everything, but perspective. Everything is perspective. I think, so back to what you were saying, I think people limit themselves based on their situation because of perspective. Hey, it just looks like it's the end of the world when it's not. It's always two sides of the coin. So you can look at it this side or you can look at it that side. Like, so a lot of people naturally, their perspective is in a negative or I can't do this or anything. But so it's I like to say prerequisite. So the prerequisite is the perspective that you have. And then in college, you got English 101, English 102. The next level of that perspective is victim mode. So people put themselves in this perspective. Life is over. I can't do this. Boom. You know what? Let me go in victim space and put myself in this corner, which, like you said, there's always someone that can pull you up, but you can't nobody can pull you up if you put yourself in a room, lock the door and close it and put a gate around it, then chain the gate and doing all this stuff. So now people can't really pull you out. So, but if you put it in a perspective of like, it's just, I don't use the word bad. I say rough. It's rough right now. It's not going the way I wanted to go, but it's not that bad. And when you change your perspective, that helps you at least come outside a little bit. Now people can see, but now you have the opportunity to actually open up and talk about this. My mentor told me this a long time ago. He said that if you don't let nobody know what your symptoms are, how you expect them to cure you. You go to the doctors, hey, my stomach is hurting, this and that. They know what they need to do. But when you put yourself in victim mode in that perspective, now you hide yourself and you can't even self-cure yourself because you're kind of like, you're not even around no medicine. You're not around no help. So what you're saying is like, it's powerful.
I think faith is faith. Faith is not the Jesus thing. Faith is not the Christian thing.
No, faith is faith.
Faith is faith.
Yeah.
Okay. And so the thing is, a person who's in victimization and victim mode is operating in faith.
Faith that I can't do
faith
this.
That I can't.
Yeah, faith that I can't do
faith
this.
that it won't work out.
Yeah.
Faith that I don't have the right connections. Faith that they're better advantage than me. Faith. But every single bird that is born, created, hatched, whichever word you would like to use, automatically knows how to fly at the right time. They're already pre-engineered to win.
Ooh.
A fish is pre-engineered to swim.
You gotta think about it. It just happens.
And a human being is pre-engineered to dominate, to have dominion, to succeed, to have a hope, to have an expected end. We're already pre-engineered that way. So we re-engineer ourselves into defeat by believing a false story. because that's all it is. Your circumstances are writing a story, and you forget that you actually have the control of the pen. You can rewrite another story at any point. You can put a period, an exclamation, a comma, and rewrite something different. You're absolutely always in control, because some people believe the Bible, some people don't believe the Bible. There's a scripture in the Bible that says all things work together for good. That means nothing really bad happens, because it has to turn back around and boomerang into good.
Yeah.
So if you know that at some point this thing going to curve and become good, and I'm going to be better through it, and I'm going to help others be better because of it, then you cannot sit down in a stagnated mode. No, if you like stagnation and what it's doing for you, then I invite you to continue doing what's working, because apparently that may be your flex, but you're not actually created and designed to stay stuck and to stay stagnated, because anything that doesn't grow is going to die. It is going to rot. It must always be in currency. It must always be in current. There must always be change. And so we resist change because we don't know the benefit of it. And so I believe that I could look at me and say, oh my gosh, all these men did all this to me, and this girl did that to me, and my mom was on crack. I could do that. And I legit have the receipts for that. So it's not a made up story. Or I could say, you know what? I am not limited by my circumstance, by my space, by who I'm a daughter of, who I'm attached to, who my relationship with, a zip code, a country, or a nation. I'm limitless because I'm created in the image and likeness of God, and God is spirit. There's no limit.
Yeah.
The only limit is the limit I will put on me. But I can redesign my entire next step. No, I don't have to wait for New Year to have a resolution. I don't have to wait for Christmas. I can start now, today, and say, this is who I'm choosing to be. This is where I am going to go. And I'm going to put the systems and things in place. So victimization is, you have to just change your faith. You're operating in faith. You guys have to change how you're operating, because the same amount of energy that you're using to imagine bad, you can imagine more.
Woo!
He will do exceedingly abundantly above all you ask, think, or imagine. The canvas of your imagination is a playground for greatness. And you have got to definitely just use that now. What are you thinking at night? When you go to sleep, what are you thinking on? When you think on that, you're going to make a covenant with yourself. When you make a covenant with your thoughts, it gets into your heart. Your heart begins to believe. Once your heart believes, your body and your mind follows. Everything is going to follow what you truly believe. Wherever you are in life is based on your absolute belief. Life can happen to you, and you can happen to life. It's going to be up to you. So you got terminated. Okay, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity. What will you decide to do with that opportunity is the next thing. Are you going to wallow in it? Or you're going to say, all the skills that I have, there's some kind of purpose in there. How am I going to discover my purpose? Like you said, through your pain. Pain is one way to discover purpose.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Definitely
That's
do
good.
that.
I want to throw something at you. I want your opinion. So I strongly believe that, like what you just said in the Bible says, everything good is, how did you say that?
All things
work
good.
together.
All
things, say it one more time.
All things work together for good.
All things work together for good. So I believe that there's no, I don't like using the word bad. Things are rough, and everything ends up being good eventually.
Yes.
The problem people have is they don't stick it out long enough. You ever seen the guy, he's mining and it's a diamond, but he quits right before that? Everything always ends up being good. It's just we quit when we're in the thick of the storm. We're in the belly of the beast, where we're like literally passing through hell, and we're like, yo, this is just, I need to stop. But I want you to give some insight on that, because that's just how I believe. And I feel like when things get like the hardest, that's right. That's your stop before when all the good stuff happens. That's just my opinion, but I want your thoughts on that.
I think when you're talking about grit, that's it, right? So it's grit. It's the cycle of a dream. Everybody goes through the very same cycle. Yeah. That's why I'm telling you, you're not unique that way. You're special. And you have a unique fingerprint.
But somebody else went through the journey.
But the same cycle for a dream is on rinse and repeat. Okay? You get excited. You see this dream, and you know what? You see the end of it. Or you see yourself in the car, or you see yourself taking a trip, or you see yourself without that weight, or you see yourself, owning your own bakery. You just see yourself in that, and in the dreams, and it's whoa, excited. You've seen the end. But there's this thing, you see, it's called middle. It's called middle. Let me tell you about the middle. The middle is what proves you and builds you to handle the weight of the success on the end. There is no success without the middle. It's like weight training. I'll give you an example. My bone density was low because apparently, as you can see, I'm a little bit bright. So my DNA makeup leans me a little bit to osteoporosis. I have some African, but it just didn't rise to where I needed it to rise. So the Chinese and the Anglo portion leans me one way. My bone density was really low. So I can go into the gym, and my goal was I've got to build my bones. My bone density has to be built, or I'm going to be on those commercials. I've fallen and I can't get up. That's not the vision I had for myself. I had the vision for myself to be 50 fine. Okay, that's what I was trying to do. Okay, I wanted to live my 50s in a fine state. So I had a vision of myself. I cut my pictures out. I put it up on the board. But guess what? It's not going to happen through osmosis. I have to actually take some corresponding action that is in covenant with what I'm dreaming of. Mm-hmm. So I go to the gym. If I go to the gym and I just start lifting 5-pound weights, that's great. But to build the muscle that I needed to do, I had to get into training. I had to get into development. I had to submit under a trainer named Corey. And I had to start lifting weights that I didn't think I could do. And I began to get bigger and bigger and stronger. When I had a fall a couple of years ago that was supposed to snap my bones in two because I had trained. I do not enjoy going to the gym, but I go. Because the goal is bigger. And if your why is bigger, you'll endure the middle. What happens is you haven't gotten something big enough to fight for and to die for or to live for. It's optional for you. You see, a commitment is when there's no options. When you make a commitment to your dream, it means there's no plan B for you. There's no option for you. So I feel like grit in the middle, you have to see it as the proving ground and the training ground. It's the foundation of the house. It's what's developing you to handle all of the big things. Because if you prepare, opportunity will come. If opportunity comes, doesn't mean that you're prepared. So that's what the middle does, is prepare you. You're going to cry. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to think you can't do it. Your esteem is going to get shattered sometimes and tested. People are going to laugh at you, and a dream requires you to look stupid to others, but relevant to yourself. And that's what a dream does. And you can't despise the days of small beginnings. You can't, worry about it. Pride, you can't be prideful when you're going after a dream, because you're going to look weird and you're going to feel weird. It's new to you, but you have to trust the process in it. And trusting the process means showing up every day, even when you don't want to, even when it's difficult. That's the mental toughness of saying, I refuse to quit until I see it. We have it in the Bible, right? Jacob was like, God, I'm not leaving till you bless me. I'm not leaving. I'm going to stay on this. I'm standing on business. I know I look dumb. Because it's not really, let me tell you something. The secret is this. It's not that your dream can't happen. It's that somebody knows a strategy that you don't. Anytime you're stuck and you're being discouraged, it's a system situation. It's never a problem with your dream. It's a problem with the system by which to get your dream. And there's always somebody, again, that has been through that. So mentorship is a shortcut to success. There's only one shortcut, and it is mentorship. That's
a fact. Now, I call it a fast pass. You go to Six Flags, Donny Park, you get the fast pass. That's exactly what mentorship is. And people confuse mentorship with cost and when you worry about the cost of something, you're not focused on what the value is.
Correct.
Because if something costs $1, but it's going to bring me back $5, who cares it costs $1? If something costs $1 million, bring me back $10 million, who cares that it costs $1 million? We're focused on the cost of something and not the value. And people get things confused all the time. And mentorship also helps with opportunity cost. People think like, oh, whether mentorship requires a lot of time from you to go ahead and be up. Like my first quote unquote mentorship, I spent the day with someone. He told me to meet him at a house. I wake up at 5. He said, meet me at the house at 5. Ready. And we was putting down floors. We doing things. One of the best days of my life because I learned so much about real estate in that day. And that was mentorship. I had to put in physical time and labor and move trash and help them lay down floors and help them pick up material and stuff like that. So, but that's something you're going to have to go ahead and do in order to nail that. Help me fast track real estate. Other things if mentorship costs. Think about, okay, this costs me this amount of money, but think about all the money that you're about to make because you learned something in a short amount of time. Like, for example, my first house I ever did, the first full renovation I did was a full gut renovation. And I spent 60 days doing this. I know some people that spend a year plus working on the same house. I ripped everything out, redid over. That's because I went and got a mentor early on, and they showed me and they helped me and they connected me with the individual I need to go ahead and do that. I know some people that were literally starting out. When I first got started in real estate, I started as a real estate agent. My first year doing from March 2017 to December 2017, I sold like 20 something houses. I started with the same guy, this one other guy, he's a good friend of mine. But I said, I found this mentor. They helped me out getting the ball started. And they was like, I'm gonna figure it out on my own. I respect them, but also like, bro, we here to go ahead and make money. We're here to be prideful. I got with them, and then a couple months later, they were like, yo, listen, who's the person I think I need to get help with them. Think about all the opportunity of months of deals. If each deal, let's say you make a commission of $5,000, let's say you did one deal a month, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. He missed out on $25,000 worth of opportunity because he's trying to be prideful. Yeah, so mentorship helps you with those opportunity calls that you might be losing.
Let me tell you a hack for me, right? So, all right, so I'm gonna put you all in my business now. Okay? So, because like I said, I've been real broke, right? I've been real broke and I've been real rich. Okay, so
y'all been there,
right? So I keep a bag of Jamaican water crackers.
What's a water cracker?
Exactly right. So it's so a water cracker is like a fat cracker. It's like, like those, not like a rich cracker. You ever see those white crackers that are thin?
Like
wafer looking right? Yes,
yeah. In the green box. What's in the green box?
Right, but that's like the elf looking one.
Oh yeah.
Right. Okay, so we take a drier looking cracker than that when they're doing those artisan things on the olives and stuff. Those dry crackers, but ours are thicker. So I keep a bag of those in my pantry because when I was my brokest, I used to put hot water on it and boil it so it would swell, and put salt and butter on it, and that's what we're eating.
Okay.
Boiled water crackers.
Okay.
So my hack is, what will it cost me if I don't? Some people live from a dream standpoint of, man, I'm going to pursue that car. If that's not motivating for you, flip it. What will it cost me if I don't pursue something different? If I stay stuck, what will it cost me?
Yeah.
I live from a death consciousness a lot of times because my mom was murdered. So I don't have a lot of time. The average 50-year-old has only 2,000 weekends left.
Break that, man. 2,000 weekends?
If a 50-year-old lives to 78, the average, which is what they say average women live, you have only about 2,000 weekends left. 1,997. Yes. You don't have that much time. If you do it on a timeline, for real, if you just do this, no matter if you're in your 40s or in your 30s, and you put on a piece of paper a decade, 0 to 10, 11 to 20, 21 to 30, on just a sheet, and wherever you are dropping on, you've lived all that life already.
Yeah.
No, we're talking about all things going well, that you don't get Alzheimer's, that you're in perfect, impeccable health at 78. Now, how many people do you know that are in that state?
Very few.
So then your weekends count down. So that's another thing I look at. We don't have time to guess and decide, is it too expensive? So
you and the weekends are coming to the same direction.
Yo. So do I have, it costs $5,000 to do it. You got 3,000 or 2,500 weekends left. If you're not even sick now, I'm in impeccable health. But most people my age group are not in impeccable health at all. People younger than me are not in impeccable health.
No, for sure.
Right? So when you're looking at the cost, and I got divorced, I was in a public divorce. I did not think, what Texas, the way that it is, I didn't get alimony. I still don't have the house, from a $1.7 million house. I don't have the equity from that rolling and balling. I borrowed $7,500 from my brother because my account was into negative $578. I borrowed $7,500 and I said, give me 90 days and I'll give you your money back. What was it? I had a choice. Oh, go back and grovel and say, please take me back.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a choice because I wasn't divorced yet. I was separated and in the process, but that was still a very big option for me. I also thought, do I want my kid on boiled crackers? Never. I'm telling you, I will mask myself and go up on a little strip pole and drop it like it's hot in front of a bunch of geriatrics that can't attack me before I ever go broke again. You hear me? I have felt the pain of broke. I don't like it. I like rich better. Rich is my size. Wealthy look good on me. Okay.
It's my size.
It's my size. What size you wear, Wealthy?
I like that.
Extra W.
I like
that. That's what I want. And so what I do is when I am frustrated, when I am discouraged, when I am stuck, when I'm in that process, I sit down and I think, what don't I want? I took that $7,500 and I spent money, the majority of it, on learning digital products, learning something. And in 90 days, I flipped that $7,500 and made $100K in 90 days. In more than one stream of income. $30,000 I made within 45 days on digital products alone. But I took about 3,000 of that into coaching. So, buying products, learning, sitting under a mentor. I think she was like $1,500 or $500 a call, and I did like a couple calls. And then I bought products, and then I had to pay my rent, right, and my car note. And that, I only drove luxury cars. I was like, I'm not changing my life though. I'm not changing my life. I'm not going back. So I had a short time to do that. And that's what I'm saying to you. What did I have? What did I have? Every skill that I had before was still there. What was true was still remaining. My intelligence hadn't changed because my status changed. My experience hadn't changed because my location changed. All the stuff that I had gone through, all the things that I had recovered from, all the businesses I had started, all the failures I had gone through, all the lessons I had learned, all those things were in my bag.
Hey, so I know you're enjoying the episode so far, and you're probably hearing some of the plays, but you might be like, my credit isn't there. I don't have the best credit. I may not be able to run some of the plays they're saying. So what I want to do is I want to give you an opportunity for free credit repair. Hey, I said it, 100% free credit repair. I'm going to drop the website below, where you can go ahead and get your credit repaired for free. All you have to do is have the credit monitoring software, so that way you can pull your reports and this will be fixed for free. All you have to do is go to nochargecreditrepair.com. It is 100% free. All you have to do is have the credit monitoring software, so you can actually pull the report and actually see what the score is on all three bureaus. And then this system is going to fix your credit for free. So again, nochargecreditrepair.com, and you guys can get access to that. Look, there is no reason why you can't win. This is the link for you to get your credit repair. You're watching a podcast episode where we're showing you how to make money, how to get funded. There's no reason why you can't win. So go ahead and click the link, pause this episode, go ahead and sign up, and then get back to the episode and keep learning, keep winning, keep growing. Let's get it.
They were not my bag. Everybody knows, or if you don't know about David and Goliath, that David was faced with this big Goliath, right? First time he's encountering him. But David was so slick, right? You got to be like David. David had 5 things in his hand, in his pocket, right? And he says to them, hey, what's going to happen? What's on the backside of this victory? He asked 3 times, what's going to happen if I kill this man? And they said, you're going to get the wife, you're going to get land, you're going to get riches. So David sized up the thing, and then he looked in his stones. He had 5 stones. And he began to testify to himself and encourage himself and say, you know what? When there was a bear, man, I got delivered out of that. When there was a lion, I got delivered out of that. So I only need 1 stone. So whatever you're dealing with, whatever you're going through, you have 5 stones and you've got something in your bucket to hit that Goliath straight in the head. You can't borrow somebody else's dream. You can't pretend to be somebody else. Your dream will answer only to your voice. Your dream has all of your pain and all of your stuff already coded into it to succeed. It was already, everything you've gone through has been weaving for an endpoint, and your purpose is tied in with all of that. Your purpose will always serve people. That's number 1. Purpose must always serve people. It must always serve people. So there's a group of people for you to serve. So when I was in that position, I started with digital products. Why? There's no overhead on digital products. I paid and invested to get coaching, get things. Yeah, I was out of the money in 30 days that I borrowed from my brother.
From investing though.
But I invested. No, I made that back.
Yeah.
So by the time that money hit my hand, it was gone. But half of it went into coaching. Half of it went into learning. I didn't think, and I got to buy groceries. I skimmed everything down. What we going to survive on for the next 30 days.
Respect.
Right. I mean, like what this is going to be like. So we're going to have ramen noodles. We're going to put some mushroom sauce on it. The next one, we're going to have some bok choy and some chicken on it. The next one, we're going to put some red spaghetti sauce on it. I can make ramen noodle about 20 ways. You hear me? Because that first 30 days, we're going to tough it out.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew that digital products was the lowest hanging fruit. It was the easiest thing to learn. It was the easiest thing for me to flip around and sell. And so that's what now I help people do, right? Is get them from stuck to start in purposeful and profitable income, making sure that your income, that profit has some purpose behind it. So digital products, and now we raise up, indoor CEOs, right? We raise up people who work from home and make, extra 500 to 10,000. Again, your dream is relative to you. What you want to build is relative. Nobody can hate on what you want to do for you. But that's my hack, is I keep a bag of that in there to remind myself I'm not going back.
That's good.
I'm not going back. And I keep on my vision board of where I'm going. But anytime I get discouraged, I just pick that out and go, we don't like that. My brain has been trained to resist poverty. And it's like it's allergic now. It's just I just retrain my entire brain, like it's sitting, it goes, Mayday, Mayday, no.
So I want to touch on what you just said. That was good. So you say you help people, turn their purpose into profits.
Yes.
And get from stuck into
start.
So let's say I'm in photography or videography, and that's my passion. That's my purpose. I haven't realized that, but this is what I do on the side as my hobby. I'm very, very good at it, but I feel stuck right now because the job I'm working at is, belittling me. The job I'm working at is just making me feel like I should not be doing anything more. The spouse I'm with is just making me feel like that hobby is just a hobby I shouldn't. So you help people like turn that stuck into, start that photography business, start that videography business, start taking the information about doing videography and photography in a high level and turn to a digital product, help someone else start. So that's good. That's good.
So like, for example, if that person was in front of me, I'd say, that job that you hate and you think is belittling you, do they have only you as an employee? So let's role play. Are you the only employee at that job?
No, it's probably 100 other people here.
Oh, wow. So it's a business.
Yeah.
So you're not there for the photography and you're not there for the $17 they're paying you. You're there for the strategy of how to run a business.
Yes, yeah.
So they're paying you $17 an hour to learn how to do business. So when you're doing your business, you already have a foundation. Don't see yourself as an employee. See yourself as a researcher that's getting paid.
Ooh.
You're doing it on their expense. You're doing it on their dime.
Ooh.
They're paying you to learn from them.
I like that.
Then you can't be belittled because you're by choice choosing to learn. So it's irrelevant what they say or what they think about you, because I'm looking at your strategy. You have more than me. I'm not the only employee. That means the business has been here a longer time than 6 months. You know something I don't know. So you're where I want to be. So I no longer see myself as just an employee. I see myself as a CEO doing research.
I like that. Now, touch on the second part, because
if you have a spouse, that's negative.
Yeah, a lot of going through, teaching people how to get into real estate. I haven't, in just people in relationships and friends, we don't really talk about other people's relationships. Like, they like guys will just have like, oh man, she getting on my nerves. Might touch a little bit, but people don't really just be blasting.
I have to ask my husband because he's ahead.
Yeah, but when I'm having these classes and stuff, I'm finding more like, yo, this is really a problem. A lot of people have. A lot of people have.
Okay, so I'm gonna take it back. There is a problem where you're asking for permission and not wisdom from your spouse. You don't need permission from your spouse. You're not the child. You're a person. You're not the child. That's not your parent. You ask permission from parents.
Say that one more time. That was good.
You don't need to ask permission. You need to ask for wisdom. And many times from our spouses, we're asking for permission, and that puts us in a child role and them in a parent role. And we're no longer partners. We're child to parent. And that's why there's resentment in it, because I don't want to be treated like a kid. I don't want to ask you for permission to do what's in my heart. I need wisdom. How can we get it done versus can I get it done? And many of us are in that, and that's why we're resentful. And then we look at our spouse as sideways, because the thing that will help now, you want to win your spouse over, if you want to call it that, create vision. because there has to be risk. And that's why it's so important in who you're choosing your spouse to be, right? That's such a big decision, because if your spouse, you're just an accessory, or you're just a pool of talent for the dream for your spouse, and it's not a reciprocating thing, then at some point you're going to be resentful and you're going to rot, because you are created to dominate. You're created to dream. You're created to fulfill something bigger than you for someone else outside of you. That it is who you are. At some point, it is going to be a problem if you do not have a clear vision. You know, what do you want to do in life? What do I want to do in life? Are we on a same purpose path? No, we don't have to be doing it the same thing together. Yeah, but purpose overrides passion every single day. See, we get into a lot of lust, but we're not leaning into. When you're doing it, it's kind of like you have to pick the person on the team. You know what I mean? It's like a 3-legged race. A partner is like a 3-legged race. If that partner don't know how to run the race, we gonna trip.
Yeah, every time.
If we didn't practice before and figure out, listen here, this is what we do. See, we're gonna count 1, 2, 3, move 1, 2, 3. We're gonna tie this. Is this tight? If we don't practice that before and know what we're on and asking sensible questions, like for me, I can't have no partner right now, not in the same medical situation I'm in. You know what I mean? Like we can't run the race. If I'm with a partner now that is, you know, an oxygen, even if we're in the same age group, we're not compatible.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to move.
No, because I'm, you know, I got a lot of strong years. So when it comes to partners, you are asking for permission, and you don't actually have to ask for permission. That's the first thing. Number 2, create vision and come and say, okay, what is it we're really trying to do as a partnership, as a family? Because let me tell you something about purpose. Purpose is the great decider and the great divider. It decides for you and it divides for you. It divides your friends, your places, your opportunities, and it decides for you who you will talk to, who you will link up with, where you will go, what you will do, how you will conduct yourself. Purpose decides how you will conduct yourself. In your DMs, you conduct yourself in your on the golf course, how you conduct yourself in Walmart. Your purpose will help you decide that. If you're deciding that you're going to be the biggest, the most influential person, if you're going to decide you're going to be on a platform, then you have to know what you're doing now. 10 years from now, your purpose is deciding that from you today. So you are acting today how you're already going to be 10 years from now. So your dream is not 10 years from now. You see, God works in a future past tense. That's a fact. So who you are now is not 10 years. You got to be that today. You have to show up to that today. If you have one suit from the dollar store and you want to be a mogul, you steam that thing, you keep that thing clean, and you show up like that. You talk like that. You go around those places like that, because that's your purpose. That's your calling. You go into the restaurant you can't afford and you sit down and you order some hot water with some lemon and you just sit, because those are your people. That's your space. And then you know what? A month from now, you go there and you get the bread. You get the bread, and you actually even put a tea bag in there. You get your $6 in there, and you sit and and you bring your newspaper and you spend time in your place. You're not there yet, but you're there. Purpose will decide for you, and it will divide for you. If you come into agreement with it, you're unstoppable. You don't need no permission, though. You can ask for wisdom, but you don't need permission, male or female. And I'm telling you that as an ordained pastor for the females. You know, I'm not trying to revolutionize and split you up. What I am saying is you have to take personal responsibility, because women are twice as likely to take care of sick spouses, sick children, and sick parents. But we don't make twice as likely money because we don't permit ourselves to. That's on us. Nobody's stopping us. But my husband said, you know what? Let me tell you. Come on into the Imagine More. Come on into the Imagine More masterclass and let me help you. That's a whole nother podcast. But we run a free masterclass called Imagine More to help people imagine more. Because right now, that's it. Less is not an option. Less cannot be an option for you anymore.
I love that. That. So drop that. You said Imagine More masterclass. Like, how can someone tap into that? So
you can go to indoorsceo.com, and you can register for free for the masterclass anytime. And I will see you live and in person, and I will help you figure out exactly, one, we're going to get into your purpose. Two, how to make that purposeful, profitable through digital products. How I made that 100K in 90 days. The real facts. I'm narrowing it all the way down so you can just start. You know what? Just start. Because what you don't want is to live in regret of wonder what I would have, could have done. And what is the cost? I'm only asking for your attention. I only need 60 minutes. I only need 60 minutes to change the next 6 months of your life. Ooh. That's it. I changed mine in 30 days. You know what I mean? With a loan and with a negative bank account. And if I can do it, I know you can do it, because I didn't learn anything greater than what I'm about to teach you. So if I can do it, I know you can do it. And I'm looking forward to seeing you, because there is a CEO inside of you. There's something inside of you that says, I'm tired of being stuck. I'm tired of asking for permission. I'm tired of being bored. I'm tired of being in the same routine. I hate it here. Mm-hmm. I want more for me. I just don't know what it is. Mm-hmm. I am in the middle. I want to write a book, but I need accountability. I have a dream, but I don't know where to start. All of that. I've been where you are. I had to redefine myself. I was in leadership in my city. All the mayors, everybody knew me. I was on billboards everywhere. And to go through a public divorce and lose all of that overnight. People canceled me. People are calling all over the world to get me canceled from my public speaking engagements, which I was booked almost every single week. Africa, UK, all around the place. You look me up. I was everywhere. Right? I was at some of the biggest platforms in the world, not just in my city or my state. And all of that dissipated overnight. And what did I have to do? I had to decide. Was I going to rely on everybody's approval and applause of me? Or was I going to look on the inside and realize that every single thing that had gotten me there, I still had? So what did I do? Create my own platform. I didn't need to be invited. I invited myself. And when you get the courage to say that it's better for me to start, make the effort, and see where it went, than sit in stagnation and wonder how it could have went. That's going to change your life, because you don't want to think of, it's too far. I'm too old now, or not young enough. What did I tell you in the beginning? There's somebody on the timeline that you're on. There's always help available. There's your help for somebody, and there's somebody available to help you. And I'm that help for you right now. So I need you to go to indoorsceo.com and meet me there. Live and direct. I'm going to break it down for you, because, real people things going on over here.
I love that. I love that. So one question, before we close up, one question I ask everyone here. So you change a lot of people's lives. You help people go from being stuck to start. Mm-hmm. You help people just be that indoor CEO. And now you're a CEO yourself. You do a lot of amazing things. You make money. You travel. Just being you. What's one thing that you like to do that's just for you, that has nothing to do with business? So we always ask everybody on here, like, hey, you doing all these amazing things. Like, what's something that you like to do? Like me, I like to travel. So I like to go places and just have a good time. Some people like to go and buy cars and all types of stuff. My guy's a car guy.
Okay. Even though what I like to do, even though it does benefit others, is I like to give. Okay. I like to surprise give. So I do that all the time, whether I'll go into a Walmart and I'll, go to a cashier and say, hey, I put $500 at that cashier with a gift card, and say the next, people give them $500 off, $100 off each off of their thing. Or I'll do gas. Dope. We do gas card, gift cards, or I'll do it every week. That's something dope. I do for me. I feel most in my purpose when I'm giving, when I'm generous. So I'll go like to Starbucks and buy the next 10 coffees and, just tell them, imagine more. I don't put my stuff on there.
That's dope.
Or I'll just say, someone from Imagine More just blessed you. I have little cards like that.
That's dope.
Yeah. So I love giving. It makes me high. Like it gives me a rush, because I like to watch. Sometimes in the grocery store, I'll sit down there and I literally watch. I want to see the reactions of them trying to figure out who did it. Mm-hmm. And why would somebody do it for them? And it's like the biggest excitement to look and see you figuring out, is it real? And is it a scam? And is it a trick? And for the person to go, no, it's really real. It's such like answer prayer, to answer somebody's prayer. Uh-huh. Yeah, I do that for me. I love traveling. As you know, I do retreats, and I have the retreats around the world and stuff. Uh-huh. But for me, When I am low and I need a high, even if my money is tight, I will give. And if I can't give money, I'll give my time. I will go serve somewhere. I'll say, can I go clean up somebody's house? Even today, that's what I don't have. I don't have a pride tree. So if there's an older person, I'll go run an errand. If my money is super tight, I will trade my time. But when I'm low, the biggest thing that can get me up is doing something for somebody else. The Bible says it like this: when Job prayed for his friends, his help came quickly. Ooh. When Job prayed for his friends, his help came speedily, is the word. So it's the quickest way to turn me when I'm down. Just find someone who's in a situation and help, whether it's my time, my money, my advice. I'll say, hey, you know what? I'm giving away a free coaching call. And just to change somebody's life, to be useful. Is and I want to give away 90% of my income, and I want to live on 10. That's my big dream. That's my big dream. And I'm going to do it. I've got 8 years.
8 years.
8 years to fulfill that dream. I'm at 51% right now.
I love that.
So I do that. Oh my gosh, I want to cry. But yes, that's what I do for me, is give. I do like to travel and I do that. I enjoy that too. I love that a lot. Cultures, food, good food.
That's my thing.
Because I'm a great cook.
That's my thing. Well, you told me that. You told me that.
Oh my God, boss cook. Y'all should just follow me because I can cook.
We're going to see.
But I love to give. I think giving is my go-to. Yeah.
I love that. So I enjoyed having you on a podcast. These are conversations we already had, but I enjoyed a lot. I enjoyed it, and I'm pretty sure everyone else enjoyed hearing this. I need you guys to make sure you go to indoorceo.com.
Yes.
I need to make sure you go follow her. What's your Instagram?
I am Sarah Co. I am Sarah CO.
There we go. Make sure you follow her. Make sure you go to indoorceo.com. Make sure you let her know how much you appreciate this video in the comment section. And make sure you just become that indoor CEO. Make sure you imagine more. And make sure you become that person that you are already destined to be. And not ask for permission from other individuals for you to be that CEO that you want to be. Ooh, I see.
That hit you up. Don't ask for permission. Ask for wisdom, but you don't need permission.
I like that. But thank you again so much.
You're
and I appreciate you. And
thank
you guys, make sure you do those things. Go to indoorceo.com, flood these comments, and make sure you give her a follow and shoot her a DM and say thank you so much.
Thank you again for having me. It was the best.
Here we go.